Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we are currently in Limsa Lominsa for a new game plus for a job unlock, namely the Blue Mage. And it begins with this zealous yellow jacket. Out of a blue. You there. Would I be right in guessing you're an adventurer? If so, I have a request to make. We've had reports of some charlatan claiming to be a Blue Mage, whatever that's supposed to be. He could be a blue-ass dwarf rat for all I care, but I hear he's selling so-called soul crystals to adventurers for a tidy sum. Apparently they're meant to give the holder all sorts of mystical powers, which is a load of chocobo shite according to a dozen or so dissatisfied customers. You see, spells and whatnot are not really my field of expertise, which is why I want you to help me investigate. I need you to tell me whether these crystals are the genuine article. If they turn out to be fakes, I'll arrest him on charges of fraud, and you will receive fair payment for your assistance. And if they by some miracle end up doing whatever he claims, you might be able to pick up a new parlor trick or two. So, are you in? Sure. Very good. We've received word he's haranguing passerbys near Summerford Farms. I'll meet you there. So basically, requirement for a Blue Mage is level 50, and I think you need to have finished the ARR main story quest. You'll get there just in time. It looks like he's about to make his pitch. Good. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Martin, and today I present to you a wonder of a new world. I call it Blue Magic. Beyond the Indigo Deep live the Valaki, who have their own unique brand of spellcasting. Like black and white magic, it draws an aether from our surroundings, but that's where the similarities end, my friends. I'm sure you've all seen wild creatures lashing out with fire, ice, and what have you. It's a form of self-defense, see? But it's still magic. The Valaki discovered how to harness aether in the same way and wield the forces of nature. But how, I hear you cry? It's simple. You have to attune your mind to the instincts of a beast. When a creature is driven to attack, you can see into its soul. When you overcome it in battle, you absorb some of its aether and make its power your own. Cause it's not as easy as picking fights with a local wildlife. But my other key mentors taught me well, and now it's my turn to teach you. Behold, the power of Blue Magic. Well, the 12th, did you see that? I thought you'd be impressed. Now before anyone asks why it's called Blue Magic, let me tell you. For the Valaki, this color holds special meaning, sacred even. And seeing as this ain't white or black, it seemed like a perfect fit. I suppose you're all also wondering what you need to become a Blue Mage like me. But for starters, you'll be wanting one of these, a soul crystal. And don't forget, a specialty designed outfit to help you look the part. I'll even throw in one of these spellbooks, personally penned by yours truly, containing everything you need to know about learning Blue Magic. I've got enough for all of you, but you'd better snap them up before it's too late. Are you not really that dense? Can't you see he's playing you for fools? drive a beast to attack, more like run headlong into battle with only a silly blue costume for protection. Of course no one can claim it's fraud when you're at the bottom of some creature's belly. I mean, she makes a good point. We feast on your flesh, smoothskins. Your gods cannot save you now. All of you, stay back. No more bleed spears! But never stood a chance. Bugger all this sword and shield nonsense. I'm giving blue magic a try. There's definitely something fishy going on here, and the arrival of Osma Mulja was a little too timely for my liking. Come on, let's see where he goes next. And who are you? It looks like he's headed for the Morabi Dry Docks. Follow me. According to one of the guards, this Martin character has been seen skulking around the docks over the last few days. Apparently he's been begging for leftovers from a mess hall. Considering that he's making Gil hand over fist from gullible adventurers, this strikes me as more than a little odd. Anyway, he was last spotted making his way to the Salt Strand. Let's go. Just as suspected. He's up to no good. Why would he come all the way to a place like this? Wer war Mulja? Martin, you say you'll be less violent this time, but that was very violent. Very violent indeed. It all adds to the realism. And you lads did a great job. Your gods cannot save you now. A nice improvisation. That one bloke damn near shat himself. I think we've seen enough. Hold that right there. I'm placing you under arrest on charges of fraud. Fraud? This is all a big misunderstanding. You can't pull the wool over my eyes. The game's up, and the same goes for you too. I knew we were in cahoots from the very beginning. As for those crystals, I'm about as convinced of them as I was of your acting. Say what you will about our sales technique, but there's nothing dodgy with the merchandise. Well, if you know, I poured my heart and soul into those crystals. The spellbooks explain how to learn the magic. It ain't my fault the buyers can't be asked to read them. And if you're thinking about clapping me in irons over the outfits not providing enough protection, I can assure you they were tailored especially with the needs of a Blue Mage in mind. I'll admit I had to cut a few corners to keep the costs down, but still. It all boils down to whether the soul crystals are genuine or not. I know it's a lot to ask, but would you like to try this blue magic of his? Come on, miss, don't be shy. Once you've learned your first spell, you know I ain't pulling your leg. I'll even let you borrow one of my outfits. And that's the starter outfit for a Blue Mage. Oh yes, very fetching. While you've been getting changed, Latulja and Gahilja have been luring over a nice cooperative baby kraken to teach you water cannon. The bait's been laid, so one should turn up any moment now. Run away, run away! That's a bit on the big side, lads. Not to worry, all you have to do is give it a few licks with a pattern blue magic focus, or stick if you would prefer, and your tentacled friend will return the favor by firing possibly quite painful jets of water at you. Oh, and try not to die. Alright, here I go! Yes. We currently have nothing but auto attacks. That's a mage. An eternity later? Impressive. After this little escapade, you should be able to fire your very own water cannon. By the by, you don't, strictly speaking, need to be struck by the magic you're trying to learn. But that'll probably happen whether you want it or not. In some cases, repeatedly. As long as you're the one the beast's after, its power should be yours. Assuming you can defeat it. You see, this is what most people don't realize about becoming a Blue Mage. When you start out, you're like a blank slate. It takes a fair amount of bravery to stare these creatures down and look into their souls. It's a shame that not all of my customers have your determination, but that's hardly grounds for calling me a fraud. You don't think he's telling the truth, do you? Now that's settled, I'll be having my West back if you don't mind. Did you actually learn any blue magic? Gahilja and Latulja are very sorry about Kraken. We don't expect such a large one. Most courageous indeed. What's that? You still don't believe me? To be honest, miss, I don't know what more I can do. Tell you what, why don't I give you a soul crystal, outfit and spellbook for free? That way, as a fully fledged blue mage, you can act as living proof of my innocence. Sound fair to you? Blue Mage unlocked. Open the Blue Magic spellbook under character in the main menu to assign active actions. Blue Magic arms generally have no effect on your attributes. However, equipping armor and accessories that boost your intelligence will greatly increase the damage dealt by your offensive magic. If you lose your Blue Magic bear, your replacement can be bought from the Calamity Salvager. Now I don't have a standard gear anymore because I'm a bit higher level. And if you looked in a spellbook, as a fresh Blue Mage, all you have is a water cannon. And you look at this, you see where to learn. That's basically it. And as you see, these here are all dungeons. Of course, almost everything we can learn in the wilderness I already got here. You have Sea of Clouds, for example. But already checked off all these. Tavanian Hinterlands is... I don't know. Would have to look. If you want to learn blue magic spells, use a guide, really. It's not worth trying it out. Unless you are really into doing things on your own. Also, a thing with blue magic that was introduced a bit later after the thing was introduced. If you have like a dungeon here, or a trial, or a raid, things like that, if you do the raid as a blue mage synced, you get a guaranteed drop of a spell if the enemy used it at least once and you are not dead at the end of the instance. Or at least at the end of a battle, right? In terms of a dungeon. But blue mages cannot use the duty roulette, so you would have to have a full party for that thing through Party Finder or something, or maybe just your free company, or wherever else you get other players from. Us people on the streets, I don't know. Anyway, Martin, where were we? Well, I suppose you better show this yellow jacket that getting smacked about by the Mad Kraken wasn't a waste of time after all. Just take aim at Latulja and fire off a water cannon. If anyone knows how a proper blast feels, it's him. Gods know he's been on the receiving end enough times. Is the only way? Okay, the spell... I need a water cannon. So you need to put it in here to use it as an active skill. Into this bar of 24 spells maximum. But there are a lot more blue magic spells you can have if you want to. So you must make a choice. Painful yet refreshing. Refreshing yet painful. See, I was telling the truth, wasn't I? Appears so. Well then, we'd best be going. It's been a pleasure. Not so fast, you blue-haired twit. I'll admit the spell worked as you said it would, but you can't sell those soul crystals without adequately explaining the risks. It's irresponsible. Some might even call it deliberately neglectful. You're not under arrest, but from this day forth you're strictly forbidden from peddling any more of your wares. If I hear you've sold so much as a blue handkerchief, I will hunt you down and throw you behind bars. No. For your aid in the investigation, you have my thanks. Fare you well. I don't bloody believe it. Just as I was beginning to turn a half-decent profit. Well, well. That was quite the show, darlings. Neither black nor white magic, but something new entirely. Blue magic. Yes, it should work out, as you've amply demonstrated. And who might you be? My name is Royce, and I mentor Celestium in Ulda. It's an arena where daring young souls, such as yourselves, perform feats of bravery for the audience. Unlike the Colosseum, the vast majority of the entertainment pits man against beast, with the matches being brought to an end before either side suffers any serious injury. While our patrons revel in the thrill of combat, acts of wanton brutality and bloodshed are considered distasteful. Rather than savagery and slaughter, our appeal lies in the personas that our participants assume to add a touch of drama to the proceedings. However, I'm not one to settle for a mere modicum of success. My goal is to make the Celestium renowned the world over, and to that end I have been searching for something truly unique, and that is when word of this blue magic of yours reached my ears. Martin, my blue bundle of crowd-pleasing wonderment. How would you like to be the very first contestant in the Masked Carnival? It will be an event pitting your magic against a host of bestial foes. Listen, this is serious stuff. I didn't go through all the trouble of learning all the spells to detain a bunch of gawping spectators. Paying spectators, my dear. Some of them quite wealthy, in fact. And you stand to earn rather a lot of coin. Now you're talking my language. I say, darling, where are you going? I was about to make you the same offer. I had to burst your bubble, love, but my apprentice here has barely taken the first step on the road to becoming a Blue Mage. Wouldn't want her meeting a grisly end in the middle of your arena, would we? Once I learn some more blue magic, I'll win for sure. That's the spirit. I'm in no rush, so take as much time as you need with your preparations. Perhaps you could oversee your training between matches? Training? But when part of a deal? Oh, I'm not asking you to do it for free, my dear. Quite the contrary. You'll pay me for it too? Consider it done. That's what I like to hear, Martin. Let's get you to Ulda for your costume fitting. Come along? I have to wear a costume as well? I've got a bad feeling about this. And that brings us to Ulda. And was ist the Miners Guild? The closest by. And Martin stands here. Or he will stand here in a moment. It just occurred to me that I never asked whether you actually want to take part in the Masked Carnival. Are you willing to endure Martin's training regime in preparations for the greatest performance of your life? Sure. You've made the right choice, my dear. I have high hopes for you. As for your illustrious mentor, I believe he should be ready to make his grand entrance any moment now. I'll be honest with you, it's a bit more extravagant than what I'm used to. Color's not bad, I suppose. You look marvelous, my dear. Everyone feast your eyes on the great Azuro. What's that supposed to mean? Well, nothing really, but it lends a certain degree of panache to your stage persona. No offense, darling, but the great Martin doesn't have quite the same ring to it. You'll be playing the role of an enigmatic nobleman who has deigned to grace the Celestium with his outlandish magics. Oh, where are my manners? I never asked your name. Desiree. Desiree, We should come up with something a little more inspiring before you step into the arena. Ah yes, I have some information concerning you two gentlemen. As you may have heard, Ulda has a law that bans members of most beast tribes from entering the city. It was mainly to keep out goblin merchants, you see. I have poured over, well, had someone else pour over the documents, and it seems there's no mention of a Mamulja whatsoever, meaning you're free to stay as long as you please. Aha! Well, with that, I think my work here is done. For the time being. Martin, I leave Desiree in your presumably capable hands. Best of luck. I'll admit, I didn't think this is how things would turn out. But what's life without a few surprises, huh? So it looks like I'll be guiding you on the path to becoming a Blue Mage. I get the impression you're no stranger to getting up close and personal with a fearsome beast. But when it comes to mastering the Laquise technique, you got a long way to go. But I do. It's the creatures themselves who'll be doing all the teaching, though. The spellbook will point you in the right direction. Cause I wouldn't be much of a mentor if I just said, come back when you got a few more spells under your belt. Seems like you need something specific to aim for. Tell you what, why don't you start by learning Blood Drain? And who knows, it might even come in handy. Oh, it nearly slipped my mind. There are a few spells that you can only learn from the creatures in the New World. Luckily for you, Gahilja has brought with him a fine selection of totems infused with the aether to save you the trip across the Indigo Deep. No getting your hands dirty fighting off fiends, just absorb the aether and the magic is yours. Naturally, we're not going to just give them to you, since you're still only a novice. Wouldn't want you biting off more than you can chew. When you think you're ready, talk to Gahilja. Gahilja is very impressed by Desiree's bravery when Kraken appeared. Now Desiree must impress with skills as Blue Mage if you want these totems. You're the man. There's a whole world of spells waiting for you. So go and start learning. Now, the Blood Drain Martin mentioned you need for the next quest. You can't take the next quest unless you have Blood Drain learned. Here it is. It can be learned from bats. Yeah, there's a lot of them. I think the lowest one are here in Lower Nanosha in these tunnels. They're level 10. Others I know would be in the Black Shroud, in the South Shroud here. This path to Earth's Gift has some bats, or in the North Shroud, Proud Creek has bats. Well, just a few I know from the top of my head. But these are higher level ones in the Gridania region. Good. And Wayward Gahilja, was it what? Acquire totems? Do we have any? Yeah, all those I already learned. You get totems unlocked by learning more blue magic spells. Only 61 on my count, and by going here to the Masked Carnival. It's not yet unlocked, and succeeding there. I have to show that at a later episode, I think, because I think I end this here with introduction to Blue Mage. Until next time, I'm Mace, and don't get lost. A little add-on for this, because I realized I kind of forget to explain the specialty of a Blue Mage. Namely, the Blue Mage is a so-called limited job, and so far the only limited job. Meaning you can't use it in classical Duty Finder. You need to have a fixed party before you enter a dungeon or raid. And you cannot just roll into one. Also, Blue Mage levels different than other jobs through that. Blue Mage has a special ability that massively favors just grinding mobs in the wild. Like the Cliffkite here. And then you can see I get a massive amount of experience for just farming a single mob. But where Blue Mage is not so good is when you have a Fate like this here. Fate mobs usually give a piddling amount of experience. Yeah. 1,100 is nothing. 1% of what a free wild mob does. What a free wild mob gives you. God. But that's it already. But I kind of forget to mention this and I wanted to add it.